to this episode of Crafted by Us. I'm your host, Michelle Johnson, and I'd like to share with you today how to make a holiday-inspired banner. It's going to be pretty simple using some burlap, some paint, and we're going to stencil the word joy across the burlap and make a nice banner. So let's go ahead and gather our supplies so we can get started. As usual, I've gathered the supplies that I think we're going to need, but if you've seen some of my shows before, you know sometimes I have to run off and gather some more things as we go along. So just bear with me in that respect, but I'm going to show you what I've got so far. I have some painter's tape. This is 1 inch. I think you could use masking tape. I have a Sharpie, brown. I have some hemp, twine, whatever you want to use. I have 2 colors of paint. I'm using white gesso. You could just use white paint or whatever you like. And then I have some gold metallic glaze I picked up from Home Depot. You can use gold paint, brown paint, whatever, up to you. And then I've got some contact paper to make my stencil with. I have scissors. I have my Fabri-Tac fabric glue that I love. I kind of think, what was my life before I found this? Awesome, I love this stuff. A ruler. I have this word joy printed out on a piece of paper, and if you visit my website at www.craftedby.us, I'll put this document up there if you want to just like download and print it instead of doing it yourself. And then I have some burlap. All right. Oh, a paintbrush. And a paintbrush because you're going to need to paint with it, right? I think that'll about do it. So let's go ahead and get started and see what we can come up with. The first thing we need to do is make a stencil. You know, there's a lot of people that have fancy stencil machines and that type of thing. I'm just going to do, you know, your basic, you know, anybody can make this kind of stencil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these letters out here, and then I'm going to put them down onto my contact paper and trace around those letters, and then cut the traced off areas off, I think. Let's think about this for a second. Because, yes, so I have thought about that for a second. What I want to do is I'm going to put the letters J-O-Y onto my burlap, and then I'm going to paint over the top and then pull that off, so it'll just be burlap showing for the letters, okay? So that's my thinking. So the first step is just to go ahead and to cut this out. So I have these, I have these letters. I have my J, my Y, and then the O, and I saved this centerpiece of the O so I know how far apart to space these. Okay, so we needed to trace this out onto contact paper. Because basically what we're doing is we're making stickers, right? So just lay this out. And with your Sharpie, just trace around your letters. Now this font that I use is called stencil font, but I don't care for it to look like a stencil, so I'm just going to trace around the letter as a whole letter and leave that there. So this is just really easy. You're just going to go around your letter. There's my first letter, my Y. Now I just got to do that for the other letters and then cut it out. So I have the letters here. Now you'll notice that they're the right orientation. So when you cut out your letter, you need to make sure you put it backwards to trace it, otherwise it'll be the wrong direction and your J will be backwards when you make your banner, which would be kind of bad, okay? And the other thing that I did is on my letters, the J and the Y, I just trimmed it a little bit because I thought they were kind of too fat, and now they're just right. The O's still kind of fat, but that's all right, I like it. So now we just need to cut our burlap into rectangles. So I have this burlap, and you can see the edge is kind of frayed right here, but it has this stitch and it came like that. So I'm going to leave this and have this be the top of my banner. And what I've decided is I need some triangle pieces, about 10 inches from top to bottom and about 8 inches wide. Okay, so I'm going to cut 3 pieces, 10 inches wide, so I need 30 inches, and I'm at 18 here. I just need to add 12, and I'm just going to make a cut like that, okay? And then I just need it to be, what did I say, 8 inches long? Let me just measure this real quick. No, 10 inches. 8 inches wide, 10 inches long. Well, here we go. I'm going to make this 10 inches. And I know that there's a special way to cut burlap. I'm not super worried about it at this point because our edges are going to be frayed and that's just how it's going to be. So I'm not too worried about it. Now I'm just going to cut this across that way. The thing that that comes to mind for me with burlap is that it's not, it's kind of rustic and has a lot of texture, and so I think it really lends itself well to not being perfect, okay? So if you prefer to have things perfect, this might not be the product for you. Okay. Well, here we go. I've got this. I'm going to cut this into thirds, and I think it's actually going to be bigger than what I need, but that's okay because I can come back later and trim it. So let's just do this. How's that for scientific? Just like that, okay? I just folded it in thirds, and I'm cutting away, making these squares. Alright. Okay. So I have 3 pieces, and I kind of want them to come in a V. So at this point, let's just fold this in half. And, alright, see it's folded in half like this. This is my top. Remember, I'm going to keep that. So I'm just going to draw a line from where the bottom of this fold is to the top here and trim that, or run a line with a marker here. Pretty easy. Let's go ahead and trim this up. Now, one of the things, let me just trim this. One of the things that I'm going to do too is with this, well, never mind. I'm just going to trim this. Okay. So there's one piece, and now I'm just going to do that to the 2 other pieces. And then our letters are going to go on there like that. So now I'm just going to peel these stickers and put them down, and then I'm going to paint the burlap with this white paint, okay? And the burlap's holy, so I think some of the paint might come through. I'm going to try to do it like a dry brush. We'll see. Well, first I got to get this off of here. Oh goodness. How's that for an exact science? Okay, and now that that letter's down, I'm going to get this white paint. This is acrylic gesso, but you could use anything. Make sure it's nice and tight on the edges. I'm going to paint this whole burlap. Let's put some paper towel under it so in case it leaks, it's not a big huge mess. Yikes! Alright, so let's just try that. Huh. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of go along the edge here and paint the white. Okay, so we just need to do that for all of our letters. And I'm going to end up painting, I'm getting the edge first just to be sure I get a nice solid white so that when I peel this letter off it stands out. But after I'm done doing this, I'm going to paint the rest of the burlap here. I think though one of the things I am going to do is I'm going to put, see where I have this thread right here? I'm just going to put a strip of this tape across the top here and not paint that so it'll be like a nice edge. Yeah? What do you think? Let's try it and see. So I'm just kind of using this in the same way as that contact paper, just as a bit of masking. Let's follow the edge right here. That should have done this before I started painting, but I just thought of it. Alright, let's go along this edge too, like so. And if you notice, I'm using like an old paintbrush, not one of my super good ones. Don't want to, you know, ruin your good paintbrush with this kind of harsh burlap. There we go. Let's just keep working at that. So I finished painting up the last one, and now what I want to do is grab this first one while that one's drying, and I'm going to peel this off like that. That's not too bad. I kind of like that. And then peel the J off. Let's see what happens. There we go. That's not bad at all. All right. So let me see. I think because it's a holiday banner, I think I'm gonna just add some gold right along here with this stuff, but not for the J. I think though with this J, I might just, with my Sharpie here, kind of outline where the J was. I'm going to test it on here. What do you think? Can you see that line? I wonder how if that would make that look better or worse. I think I'm just going to leave that, but I'll paint some gold across the top here just to give it a little bit of glitter. Okay. Let me see. And I want to protect this white, so let's run another piece of, let's grab this tape right here and just run it across the edge where my white is, like this. And then I'm going to just paint this gold with this paint. this is like a glaze, so it's not super thick. I think it'll give it just enough shimmer to make it kind of interesting without losing, you know, the burlap kind of look. Alright. And it's just kind of that simple. And let's pull this off. There we go. Okay, let's do that to the other letters. And then move on. So these look pretty good. I've grabbed a brown Sharpie, and I think what I'm going to do is just kind of outline the letters. And I'm just going to kind of gently go like this, just to give it a little bit more definition without making a super solid line. And I know it might be hard to see in the video, but I think if you do this for your project, you'll really be able to see a difference here. I'm just going to go all the way around my letters, and then I'm also going to go kind of right across the top here where the gold meets the white. Like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and outline our letters and go to the next step. Looks like we're just about done here. The last step is we're going to put some of this hemp twine across the top. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put my Fabri-Tac on the back side and then just lay this down like that and let that dry. And then it'll be finished. When you do this, make sure you have your letters in the right order, or that would kind of be painful. You're just going to run your adhesive right across the top here. This stuff is super sticky and dries fairly quickly, and within about 15 minutes it'll be dried, you know, almost all the way, and you can just hang this up. So I have my adhesive on the back, and I've cut 2 strands of this. And I did that for a couple of reasons. One, to make it thicker, but also if I tie the ends in a knot like this, it'll give me some place to loop, let's say, a thumbtack through or whatever if I want to hang it up. So I'm going to just tie this other end here. So I'm essentially just doubling the thickness of my string. And then I'm going to spread this out however I want it. Let's find my middle. Right here, this is my middle about right here, and I'm just going to stick this down like that. It's not too hard, huh? Alright. Alright, so here we have it. Turned out pretty good. And you know, if you wanted to, you could add some buttons, some lace, whatever you like, but just for a quick, simple project, I think that turned out really well. Alright, so I really hope you enjoyed today's project. Remember, if you have questions about the specifics of this project, or you're interested in some other projects I have online, you can visit my website at www.craftedby.us. And also, just want to let you know that I am in iTunes, so if you subscribe to podcasts on iTunes, you can find me by searching iTunes. Just search for Crafted by Us podcast and you'll find me there as well. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you join me again soon.